Hello, everybody, and welcome to a special video preview episode of the Cheese Room podcast for the Manchester United game. I'm your host with the most, Mr. Jolly, coming at you live and large from the Sydney University grounds. We're in front of the Great Hall here, one of the great architectural buildings in Sydney. Probably can't compete with Vienna, where the one and the only Harlow Globetrotter is based, but still, it's beautiful. We're also going to be joined by Craig from Watford and Anderson all the way from Liberia. So without further ado, let's crack on by welcoming the one and the only, the Harlow Globetrotter, Lloyd Stiles. Lloyd, straight off the bat with a question for you, short and sharp. We've seen Sky Sports come out with their combined team, and they've named 4 or 5 Manchester United players. They've left out Heung-min Son. What do you think about that? Is it true that no Manchester United players would get in a combined team right now?
No, it's not true that no United players we're getting right now. There's a few that would, as far as I'm concerned. I don't agree with the team that was put on by Sky Sports. I don't know if they chose it or if it was chosen by regular punters, but there's a few in there that I don't agree with. I do think Pogba would make it. I do think that the goalkeeper would be De Gea, but otherwise, I don't know. It just depends on what formation they choose to play. Right, I think if we went 3 at the back, we might get fewer Man United players and maybe get a better team out of it. But it was probably 8 out of 10.
Well, there you go. And we're also very fortunate to be joined by a mad, crazy Tottenham fan from a little bit north of London in a place called Watford, the one and the only Craig Baldwin, one of the 100 Spurs Fans Said Massive, a regular listener to the podcast. And Craig, how do we know each other, mate? I can't even remember.
I think it was via I think Crabby introduced me and you together, he said he was doing your podcast. So would I listen in? And obviously I think we then linked up from there, I think, and a bit on Twitter as well.
So you were explaining before that you met Crabby at a Chelsea game a few years ago. And of course, this is Graham Crabby Crab of Pop Will Eat Itself fame.
Yeah, this is right. Yeah, myself, I know him through a promoter who sort of promotes all of his gigs around the London area. So we all met up and went to the Chelsea game. And unfortunately, we lost that particular one. But hey, we've made up for it since, I think.
Absolutely. And what do you think about the combined team? Would you agree with Lloyd that only De Gea and perhaps Pogba would get in the side?
Yeah, I agree with Lloyd. I think De Gea is different class, really. He's superb. I mean, Martial on his day can be pretty tasty. I know we've been linked with him a few times. He's quite handy. But yeah, I think Pogba, yet again on his day, can be superb. But I personally would rather have Dele Alli or an Eriksen in my team because I just think their character's stronger than Pogba. I think his behaviour under Mourinho was a little bit questionable, to say the least.
Well, there you go. And finally, without further ado, I'm very, very delighted to be joined by Anderson, all the way from Monrovia in Liberia. Anderson, now, if there's going to be a guest who knows about football, it would be somebody who comes from a country where the president is a footballer, George Weah. Mate, is it true that everybody in Liberia loves football, mate?
Definitely. Everybody loves football in Liberia.
And are you old enough to have seen George Weah play live, mate? Or you're a bit of a young fella, aren't you?
I wasn't that older to see him play a live game. Apart from his resolution match, I didn't see him play an active game. I was very young.
Well, there you go. Very excited to have you. And how long have you been a Tottenham fan for, mate?
From 2008 up to present, so let's say about 10 years plus.
And who's your favourite Tottenham player so far?
Harry Kane.
Okay, well, very good answer. I think the Harlow Globetrotter Lloyd Stiles would probably agree with that too, as would I. Harry Kane is my favourite Spurs player. But I think Heung-min Son is not far behind at the moment. Let's crack on with Absolutely. All right, let's crack on with the show then. I'll start with you, H. is this a game that we should be expecting to win, Harlow Globetrotter?
Expecting, yes, we're at home. They have some good individual players, but we're a better team. And so it's tough to expect to win. It is still Man United. But if we want to have any hopes of winning the title, we have to win. There's no doubt about that. So I hope the players are expecting to win. I hope the fans go in there thinking it's going to be a battle because they might be louder. But the players should be thinking, yeah, we can win today, and we're going to.
Well, there you go. And Craig, what about you? Are you confident that we can get this result? And I mean, we beat them 3-0 away. Last season, we dominated them at home. This will be the first time since 1960 that we would have won 3 games against Manchester United on the trot. Can we do it, mate?
Yeah, I don't see why not. I think it'll be tougher than the away leg. I think they'll have watched the Chelsea game and we'll see how Chelsea pushed us harder. But I think we are better. We are superior to them. I think with people like Matic and his legs aren't quite there, and Jones as well. I think we can exploit there.
Absolutely. And Anderson, are you feeling confident about this game? What do you think is going to be the result, and where can we gain an advantage against Manchester United?
Sorry.
You right?
I'm definitely confident that we are going to win. We can exploit their defense. The defense is not that good. With Son and Dele Ali plus Hurricane, we can overrun their defense. So I'm definitely confident that we will win a game. But what we need to do is play our game. Don't play long ball. Long ball won't win a game against Manchester United. Play the ball on the floor. If we play floor ball, we definitely win in Manchester. Manchester doesn't have the mobility like Tottenham has to play floor ball. So I would prefer your coach to play the ball on the ground and long ball, like what Toby normally does.
Well, there you go.
So in short, I'm confident we'll win a game. I'm very confident.
H, do you agree with Anderson that the Manchester United defence can be exploited? They've got suspensions. Bailly is out, suspended. Romo is injured. Their other first choice centre back is injured as well. So can we get amongst them in there?
I mean, yes. I mean, we're good enough to get any defenders, let alone even if they had their best 4 out, we'd still be able to create chances against them. So it's definitely their weak spot. I think certainly in midfield, they might be stronger than us if they get the balance right. And going forward, we know they've got some fast, tricky players that we might not want to see them running against at our fullbacks. But yeah, I think when we talk about the game last year at Wembley, we scored so early, and then I think the second came in pretty quickly too, in like 25 minutes. And so after that, it was not necessarily cruise control, but I think that we felt that the game was won. And so I actually felt that the game was pretty even outside of those 2 early goals. And obviously we do remember the FA Cup semi-final when they beat us. So they're definitely a team that we need to worry about. But yeah, I think it's all going to be about who scores first again. You know, if we take the chances, their heads might drop in, at the back, and we'll go from there. But I don't think it's going to be as easy as everyone seems to believe.
What about in midfield, H? Do you expect us to line up with the 4-2-3-1 with just Winks and Sissoko in there with Eriksen dropping a bit deeper? Or do you think there's a possibility that Eric Dyer might start?
No, I think it came out today. The club said that Dyer isn't available, so I don't think he's going to play. I think the team pretty much picks itself. The question will be whether we decide to go with Aurier or Trippier at the back.
Trippier.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. We'll see. I mean, Vertonghen should be fit, so that would be an interesting call. I would definitely start him if he is fit. But yeah, I don't feel like there's a massive difference with our fullbacks, really. And so even if we went with Davies instead of Rose, I still think we'll be fine. We'll just be a bit more solid, which might be useful. But in midfield, the key is going to just be making sure that we have the ball and not they, because they have some quality players. If Matic and Herrera could provide the platform, Pogba has the quality. I mean, he really is the key man. If he has a good day, we're going to struggle. If he plays badly, which will basically be down to his attitude, I think. But if he plays badly, then we should win quite easily.
Anderson, you were saying, sounds like you want Trippier to play. Who's your preferred fullback pairing? Which fullbacks would you start in this game?
Rose and Austria. Trippier attacks more than he defends. He leaves the wing. He leaves the wing exposed so many times, especially in big games. Austria is more solid than Trippier, so I prefer Austria.
Well, there you go. So pace of Austria and Rose. Craig, against Chelsea, we seem to be a little bit off the boil second half of the game against Wolves as well. Winks has played 6 out of the last 7 games and he's played the full 90 minutes. Do you think that the rush of fixtures and our lack of options in midfield might come back to bite us on the backside in this game as well?
Yeah, I think that's why he got pulled off, and they brought Skip on for a little bit, didn't they, at the end of the Chelsea game? Which, you know, he slotted in okay, he was fine, but yeah, obviously it's a big ask of Skip to step in, I would say. But yeah, I think Lloyd posted up again about another fixture, a backup. Yeah, I think Winks and Sissoko should be able to handle it. I would think they should be able to handle the Man United midfield with support from Dele and Eriksen.
And that's the key point. Like we talked about the so-called diamond formation that we played against Chelsea to such good effect in November. They're a little bit more mobile, but they play a similar formation. They play a similar way, and it may well work that we end up having 4 in midfield, just dealing with their 3. And so the key thing will be transitioning forward and being able to keep the ball up top with Son and Kane. If we can do that, then Dele, obviously, with his late runs, will become a huge asset. It's an interesting call because in some respects, Poch might think, okay, well, I want to try things and go a little bit differently because he might well be worried about Man United's team. But you'd imagine that if Son is missing an Asian game to be here, then he's going to start. So it's a tough call, but I think we have to go with the 11 that's done us so well recently, which involves playing our front 4 and Winks and Sissoko.
HG, where do you see the game being won or lost? People are saying that Eriksen is really the heart and soul of our team. So you mentioned Pogba and it being important whether he's good or bad. It's also important that Eriksen gets on the ball in dangerous areas, and both he and Dele Alli were quiet against Chelsea, weren't they?
I mean, they were quiet, but I think we have to give Chelsea credit. I mean, Chelsea played really well that day. They didn't really give us a chance, and so to get the victory was pretty stunning, frankly. Look, I actually think the key aspect of the game on Sunday is going to be the crowd. You know, it's a 90,000 capacity at Wembley, so there are going to be lots of people there, and hopefully they'll get behind the team in ways that maybe we haven't seen recently. So if we do that, and it is a real, demanding atmosphere and difficult for United, then we'll have a chance. The players themselves, I feel like United might have some better individuals, but we're the better team. And so the question is, whose individuals are going to perform? Are Spurs going to be able to really combine as the front 4 that we know that they can? Or is it going to be a moment of individual magic like we saw from Kane against Wolves, or as we've seen throughout the season really from various players? I don't feel like we've really created much as a team all season. It's taken moments of magic from individuals to get us where we are. And I think that's been United's success for the last few years before Solskjaer took over. So we know what they can do. I think it's just a question of, who is going to be able to find the top corner from 20 yards? Who is going to be able to find a perfect cross at the perfect moment so that it becomes an easy header at the back post? I think that's what it's going to come down to. I don't feel as if it's going to be formation versus formation or tactics versus tactics. I think it is going to be who performs on the day quality-wise. Craig, what do you think?
Yeah, I think you could be right there. I think it will be a moment of genius. I think both teams are going to go hammer and tongs. I think Solskjaer's going to let them just come at us because he knows his strength. His strength is releasing Pogba, getting Lindelof forward, feeding Martial, etc. He knows he's weak at the back. He's gonna try and push as hard as he possibly can, with our fullbacks pushing forward, trying to exploit there. And yeah, it's just going to be I think it's going to be a big slug out. It could be lots of goals. I think it's going to be a really interesting game. I think it's going to be from the kickoff. And I say you're right about the crowd. The crowd need to really make some noise and really be heard at Wembley and really get behind the team.
We have to. Sorry. No, I was just thinking that if I'm a Man United fan, it's kind of a free hit for them. It's Solskjaer. It's his 5th or 6th game. He's got lots of good players, but they're so used to having Mourinho stick 9 behind the ball that Solskjaer can say, go out, play your best, do what you're good at, and it may well be good enough. I mean, that's literally it. If they lose, well, it's Tottenham away. It's his 5th game, 6th game. It doesn't really matter. So I actually think most of the pressure is on us. Man United can go and really just enjoy themselves, and that might be a problem. So it's I think it's very even. I mean, we might be expected to win because we're at home, but I think we've got almost all of the pressure on us.
I agree. Well, definitely.
So there you go, gentlemen. It's been brilliant having you on. Let's finish with the prediction. We'll start with our friend in Liberia, Spurs fan from the 100 Spurs Fans Said Massive, Anderson Kia. Anderson, what do you think the result in this game is going to be? Give us a prediction and scorers for Spurs.
I think Hurricane will improve on his tally against United. He will definitely be on the score sheet. Son will be on the score sheet, followed by Dele Ali. I think the game will be won by 3 goals to 1 in favor of Spurs.
Well, it'd be great to see Harry Kane add to his goals tally against Manchester United, which is one of his weaker ones. I think he's scored 2 goals in 12 games.
Oh, 12 games, definitely.
Yeah, it's just 2 in 12. Hopefully he can improve on that. Craig from Watford, what do you think the result's going to be, mate?
I'm going to stick my neck out. I think we're going to do 3-2. I've got this feeling it's going to be lots of goals. It's going to be an entertaining game. I can feel lots of goals and 3-2 to us, obviously.
And last word for the Oracle all the way from Vienna, the Harlow Globetrotter, the one and the only. Give us the good news, mate.
Well, the good news is I got the Chelsea prediction right. No, so the good news for Man United, Man United will score. I think we have to think that that's going to happen. Maybe I'm a little bit more negative than the other boys, but let's say 2-1 Spurs. I think United will probably score first, and the cat will be amongst the pigeons. But I think their centre halves can be got at, and so we'll come back and win the game.
Well, there you go. Thank you very much to Craig, all the way from Watford, 100 Spurs Fans Said Massive, and another member of the posse, all the way from Monrovia in Liberia, Anderson. It's been wonderful having you. HG as always. Look forward to seeing you guys around online soon. Remember to check us out on Facebook if you haven't already. Follow our page, give us a like, and listen to the podcast. Come on, you Spurs. Come on, you Spurs.
Do you have any cheese at all?
No. What a senseless waste of human life.